Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra Terry, the mindset coach and founder of Manifesting Miracle Makers, rounded up her LinkedIn family once again. First, we've got Brian Smart, Mr. Content and Dadpreneur. He's striking the perfect balance between raising his youngest daughter and creating masterful content. Next, meet Denise Annalise Spiller, the gig expert and relentless traveler and writer. She turns every gig into an adventure. Then there's Jay Pasquale, the storytelling strategist, a poet and voiceover artist. He's weaving tales that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe even change your perspective. Get ready for a show filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the magic of family. Let's welcome Cassandra Terry and the rest of the fam.
Hello. Welcome everyone to the Friday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. It is Focus Friday, and I hadn't thought about talking about distractions. But since that is all that I've been dealing with since I woke up, I'm sure we're going to weave that into today's conversation, maintaining focus despite distractions, because they're coming whether we want to or not. So what has to happen is within us, we've got to skill up. We have to get to a place where we can manage those distractions and not let them manage us. I don't think one of the platforms is up and running this morning, no matter what I did, because I was doing what I say we shouldn't do. Last night, I was really trying to multitask, and I ended up creating the event with the times all messed up. And so trying to undo what I had inadvertently done. We're partially here, but I don't think we're everywhere. But we are going to go forward. We're going to focus and not be too distracted by the crazy of the morning, because at the end of the day, we are fortunate enough to be here wherever it is that you're seeing us from. It's recorded. So if you don't get us now, you can get us later. To the where I don't think we're live, I'll make a point to post after the event so you guys can catch the replay, because you guys are always show up for us, and we most certainly want to show up for you. And sometimes it feels like things go haywire when you're most excited about something, when you're right at the cusp of crossing that finish line and getting something, getting success that you've been working for. It just seems like everything blows up. Things just go crazy. They go haywire. Look at that and go, I must be close to something. This is about to be good. And that will encourage you and allow you to keep moving forward instead of getting so frustrated. Brian and I were having a push and pull with technology last night. And because as we were pushing and pulling with that technology, I was trying to get the room set up. That's the very reason why I made a really basic mistake. When I saw it, I knew exactly what I had done. I had created the room in haste, created it distracted instead of having my full attention on what was going on. And that's what happens. That's why we talk about multitasking and how it's impossible. I may have gotten the room right, but I still wasn't multitasking, because while I was focused on that, I wasn't focused on the work Brian and I were doing, right? While I was focused on the work that Brian and I were doing, I'm just doing the best I can to get the room up and running. And so that multitasking thing is a fallacy. It doesn't work. It does not work well, because you don't give your full attention to anything. And that's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about focus. We want to talk about the importance of focus. And the quote for today fits perfectly with what I've been experiencing today and late yesterday. It's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less. And that's by Nathan W. Morris. It's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less. If I had focused on less and given my all to what it was I was doing, I would have caught my mistake. But because the mind was everywhere, excitement was brewing, things were happening, I completely messed up. Is it the end of the world? No. Wasn't doing brain surgery. So, it's not catastrophic, but it shows you how your divided attention means you don't give anything all the it's just due, right? So, the quote is a reminder for me. I'm not Superwoman. There's no S on my chest, even though sometimes I think it's there. It's not. We all do the best we can with what we have. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But the key to it all and to increase your potential of doing it and doing it well is the little old thing called focus. Focus is a tool. We talked about gratitude as a tool yesterday. We come here 5 days a week. I do 5 days a week in different ways, sometimes six. And the idea is to imagine our toolbox. If it's empty, that's okay. Because sometimes it's easier to start with a clean slate, right? Than to have to prune and get rid of a bunch of stuff. But if it's full of stuff that's not working for you, first thing you have to do is prune it. Get rid of those bad habits. Get rid like trying to multitask. Get rid of that negative self-talk. The fact that I messed up something today doesn't affect my day. It doesn't affect my mood. It doesn't affect how I think about myself. I'm still just as happy as I was when I first got up. I did my little morning meditation. I thought about the things that I'm grateful for. Got up, got ready, and I'm like, oh, it's Friday. Get to wrap up the week. Things are really close at work. I can see, wrapping up the week nicely. So I woke up with a positive mindset. Distractions come, and their whole purpose is to throw you off, to get you in a different headspace, to get you moving in a different direction. And we have to create the discipline where we say, no, I'm in control of my time, my energy, my attention. I am not going to allow this to dictate what my morning is going to be like. I'm not going to allow this to dictate what type of a show we're going to have. I'm not going to allow it to dictate how I interact with the guys before the show. Did we still pray? Absolutely. Did we have to make some adjustments to get things going? Yes, we did. Change the time. I had to keep rolling the time forward to catch up with the mistake that I had made. But I could do it with a smile on my face. And I heard Brian in the background going, get that frown off your face. That was concentration and trying to see, because I really should be wearing glasses, but it wasn't an internal frown of frustration. I didn't feel any of that. Like, all right, let me see what I need to do to solve the issue. When you don't allow your emotions, when you don't allow external forces, distractions, your internal thoughts, when you don't allow any of that to take your focus, you can problem solve so much better. You're innovative, you're creative, you're focused on the solution and not allowing yourself to get overwhelmed by the issue. Focus does all of that for you, because it's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less. Yeah, there you go. Put those blinders on. And in that moment, the focus was on solving the issue, not on the fact that the issue existed in the first place, because that would have created all that frustration. That would have created the angst, the anxiety going up, the energy being sapped, right? I would have had to muster up a smile. I like the real thing. It's so much better than that cheesy fake smile that we slap on sometimes when we think we need to. It looks painful, right, Jay? I prefer the real thing. Let's turn up the wattage on the real smile. And our smiles come from the inside, right? When somebody says to me, "Oh, you have such a nice smile. Oh, you're just glowing today." I don't think to myself, "Ooh, I bet I look good." No, I'm thinking, okay, the energy is flowing from the inside out. I'm showing up in a way that's giving good energy and it's being received. That's what a compliment means to me. That the inside, the part of me that really matters the most, is showing up well and infecting somebody in a positive way. That's what I think is happening when somebody says, "Oh, you have a nice smile. Oh, you're beaming today. Oh, you're so full of energy. So, somebody said that to me yesterday, and I was dog tired. I laughed when she said it, but then I thought back on it, and I was like, you know where my energy is coming from? It's coming from you guys. Yesterday was International Women's Day, and I was blessed enough to be asked to speak on a panel of women in tech. And it was me and two other ladies. And we had the greatest time. I was so tired. I had to leave here quickly to make sure I could get to the event and not, you know, slide in at the last moment, all frazzled and everything. And so I was really tired. And for her to say, you are so full of energy, your energy is infectious, getting those types of compliments when I'm tired, it didn't mean I was any less tired, but it meant the exchange of energy between me and the crowd was good. It meant that I was focused on them and the message, the questions that were being asked of me. I was in the present moment. I wasn't lost in my tiredness. I wasn't lost in what it took for me to get there, what I had to do next when this was all over. I was in the moment. And when we can allow ourselves to be present and be in the moment and participate and enjoy what's going on right now instead of dragging the baggage of the past or building the angst because we're worried about the future. When we bring that stuff into the present moment, we lose the opportunity to actually experience life. Life is happening right now. It already happened over there. We don't know if we're going to get to the next one. It's right here, right now. And when we can focus on that and problem solve and what's happening there, connect with who's around you, and just enjoy what's being given right here, right now, the better part of you will show up. There's nothing like looking somebody right in the eye and connecting with them. There's nothing like giving a genuine smile. There's nothing like actively listening to what someone is saying and giving back a response so that they know that you actually heard them. They know that you're actually paying attention. That is hard to do when you're worried about what's going to happen next. But to actually exchange that energy and to provide your focus to a real person in real time. It's hard to have those exchanges these days because people are so have so much going on all the time. And I tell you, even though my main platform is not up and running right now, I'm watching the numbers go up. There's more people that I can see watching right now than I typically see at this time. And my main platform is not up. Focus. Do what you need to do, solve the issue at hand, keep moving forward. Don't allow yourself to get bogged down by distractions. It's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less. Nathan W. Harris. It sounds counterintuitive. It's like, focus on less. I'm trying to get stuff done. Right. And if you really want to get it done and you want to get it done well, you must focus on the task at hand. You must give that your full attention so that you can actually complete it. And then you're ready to fully move to the next thing and do that well. That's how we do more. We do more by doing less. And I know it sounds crazy, but try it. One thing at a time, giving it your all, completing that thing, and then moving on to the next. You'll be more successful. The stuff that you're doing will be more accurate. You'll enjoy it more because you're actually in it. You'll be more proud of the results because you were in it. You did a better job. You'll get it done quicker because you've put everything in it. You're not jumping from here to there to the next thing. You actually completed it. That feels good. That gives you energy. That gives you confidence. That gives you a sense of pride. Now you're ready to tackle the next thing with a little bit more gusto than you had before. Do less if you really want to be successful at completing more. One thing at a time. Throw that multitasking fallacy out the window. It's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less. Brian, how are you doing this morning? What comes to mind as you hear today's rant by Cassandra? Can you unmute and share with us? Let's see if Brian's going to be able to.
Yeah. I got it now. I got it now. So I'm on another device, and I was thinking that
Mhm.
it had touchscreen, but it doesn't. Somebody comes in and steals all
Ah,
my stuff, moves all my stuff around. We won't call any names.
yeah, we're not gonna call the names,
No,
but
let's not call any
it rhymes with knee.
names. Yes, yes. But
Oh goodness.
when we're talking about focus, I was thinking about how I always talk about mastering content. Jay says it
Hmm.
all the time in the intro: mastering content, masterful content. Well, content is just one thing you can master. Right? There's a whole life out there that you should be mastering.
Mm.
All right, but and here's the caveat: mastery comes down to two things:
Okay.
focus and intensity. All right, so there's no mastery without focusing on that thing that you want. And mastery, that focus is dependent. Your life is dependent. The time that you spend mastering is dependent on the intensity of your focus. If you're not intentional and if you're not focused, you're not going to win, right? Everything that you do in life comes down to those two things. That's
Love
what
it.
focus is. Focus, and you can't do that when you're trying to focus on too many things at one time. You talked about
Mhm.
multitasking. Everybody tries to do it. It's impossible. You can only
It's
do one
impossible.
thing at one time. That's how life is. That's how we're set up. You can only do
Hmm.
one thing at a time. So you have to focus on those things that that fill you up, that give you energy. We should refrain from letting our energies be distracted because we're angry, because we're frustrated, because things didn't go our way. That's life. It happens. It's going to keep happening, right? But don't lose your focus. When
Don't
you
lose your
lose
focus.
your focus, the intensity is gone. When you lose those two, there is no mastery. There's no mastering of content. There's no mastering of conversation, mindset, life, anything without intention, intensity, and focus. You have to focus. You have to have that intensity if you want to master what you're doing, right? It's crazy how everything gets better once you start to focus on that. Once you start to
Mhm.
focus on you and that one thing that you do, like it's not just one thing in that moment, it's one thing in your life. Focus on one thing at a time, and you will watch your life unfold in ways you could not imagine. I'm off my soapbox.
You off your soapbox. You stole my soapbox. I'm the soapbox person. That's awesome. And I love that intensity. It was another I. Focus and intensity, but
And
intention.
intention.
Intention. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All tools. All tools that you can add to your toolbox to ensure that you are setting yourself up on the path to success, whatever that is for you. We start there. Focus on your desires first. Focus on what it is that you really want. Get that clarity and then create the plan. And your plan may be grand, it may be huge, but you have to break it down into small, consumable steps. And then you prioritize those steps. And whatever's at the top of the list, that's the thing that you want to get done. It's probably has other things probably have some dependency on that thing. Let me get that out of the way. Let me get that accomplished. And now you're ready to move to the next thing on your list, and the next and the next. And you go back and you check that list occasionally. Make sure that the priorities haven't changed. Make sure that you haven't gotten some information that says there's something else that needs to be added to really do this thing well. Because we're always learning, we're growing, we're taking in new information. So you integrate that into what you do. You take that learning, and especially when things don't go the way you intended, that quote unquote failure time, that's the opportunity of learning. That is the largest, the biggest opportunity to learn. You dig in. Why did things happen differently than what I thought? What am I learning from this situation? What tweaks do I need to make to my plan so that I'm more successful once I get back to it? Ask yourself those questions when things don't go well. create that plan, work that plan, iterate that plan, edit it, change it as need be, so that you stay on track to accomplish the things that are important to you. You need to be clear. Where you're going has to be specific. It should be measurable. Why measurable? We're talking about SMART goals now. Why is measurable important? Because how else do you know if you're on track, right? You have to have a way of evaluating whether or not you're accomplishing what it is you say you're after. What we can't measure, we can't see, we're not likely to accomplish. So measurable is important. Specific, measurable, attainable. Is it something that is possible? I can't grow another foot. I can't even grow another inch, right? So there's no point in me creating goals around the impossible. So they have to be attainable. Can they be hard? Yes, they probably should be. If it's too easy, you probably haven't stretched yourself enough. So they can be difficult, but not impossible. So make sure they're attainable and make sure they're relevant. Do I really care about this thing? Does it really align with my values? Is it really a goal of mine? Or is it what I think I should do to make this person happy or that person happy? Or that's what people who look like me, sound like me, that's what they do. So I should go ahead and get that knocked out too. You're not committed to that thing. It's not really relevant to you. So test your goals against who you really are and what you really are interested in, right? And then you're able to apply that focus, that intensity, that intention that Brian was talking about. And then make your goals time bound. Give yourself a deadline. As humans, if we don't have deadlines, we will hem and haw and work on something forever and never get it done. I know there is nothing like a deadline to get me moving. I may have 5 days to get something done and don't really lock in until day 4. What the heck was I doing those first 3 days? It wasn't as real until I got close to the deadline. For people who manage their time super well, you would have broken that thing down, right? And here's the task that you need to do each of those 5 days to accomplish your goal. That's the way it's supposed to work. That keeps you from being all anxious and stressed. But a lot of times it's the deadline, the very fact that the clock is ticking, the time's about to run out, that will get us energized and moving towards something to completion. So deadlines are important. Otherwise, you don't have, that's another measure. Am I progressing towards it? Am I going to get it done on time? So I impose deadlines on myself. I have self-imposed deadlines or something I want to get done, and I give myself a time frame to do that. Otherwise, I know me. I'll do all the other stuff. I'll get distracted by all kinds of things because there's always opportunities to do really cool stuff. But do they align with my goals? Are they relevant? If they don't, then why am I pouring my energy into it? Why am I giving it my focus? Sometimes it may be just as simple as the fact that I'm on autopilot. I'm not thinking about it. Somebody that I like or somebody that I think is doing something very exciting, they come along and they want to include me. I'm excited just the fact that they thought about me. I'm honored to be thought of and included in their plans. But have I done the evaluation to determine whether or not that thing is included in my plans? Does it keep me moving towards the goals that I have, or does it temporarily throw me off? You have to evaluate those things as they come up. Get to the specifics so that you can evaluate it. Measure it against your goals, what you're trying to accomplish. Is it something that's really within your realm, or are you thinking, oh, if I put a little bit of energy over here, I can learn how to do it. I can really help them out. So now you're really distracted. It's not even in your wheelhouse, but because somebody asked you to do it, now you're trying to pick up a skill to help them. So you're double distracted. You're doing something that wasn't a part of your plan, and you're having to work to do it. It's not even something that naturally comes. So you've put yourself farther off the path to accomplish what's important to you. and have those goals time bound so that you have a deadline that you're working towards. Commit to it and honor your commitments to self first, right? The more you accomplish, the more encouraged you are, the more fulfilled you are, the more self-confidence you have. It feeds your entire experience. So celebrate those small wins and take that energy into the next one. And before you know it, you look behind you and you have a trail of success. You have accomplishment after accomplishment after accomplishment, and you're so far on that path towards your goals that now you can start to see the end. You can see it in sight. You're encouraged. You believe that you're really going to get there. Brings more energy, brings more confidence. Focus is powerful, powerful tool. So make sure that you are leaning into it every day in every task that you're doing. Give it your all. All right, Jay, it's not always that we need to do more, but rather that we need to focus on less. Nathan W. Morris. What's going on in that brain of yours this morning?
One of the first things I'm hearing in my head as you were speaking earlier
Hmm.
was LL Cool J. Doing it well.
Doing it and doing it and doing it
Doing it
well.
well.
We're gonna find it. We will find the song, people. We can't help ourselves. And if they're crazy enough to bring it up, I'm crazy enough to sing it right along with them. So it is what it is.
Hey, it's how we enjoy each other's company, and it's how we communicate.
It's one of the
Um,
ways that we connect. Yes.
absolutely. Um, and the other thing is when we align when it comes to thoughts and how we
Hmm.
conduct ourselves, and I continue to marvel at that um, from a faithful standpoint. I shouldn't be surprised. That's not what I'm saying. I'm marveling in it. I'm just like trying to understand the spirituality and the message that continues to be put in front of me. And speaking of messages, I'm going to talk about Matthew chapter 6, verses 31 through 33. So it's a little bit, and we've heard it before, but let's hear it again. Therefore, do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you.
Mhm.
Focus. I have the words intensity and focus, as I heard Brian earlier.
Mhm.
And that intensity is what will help you get to where you're going. But where is that intensity being focused? So let me tell you, when the tornado occurred
Mhm.
and I was searching for the answers and for the message, the power of faith in that moment and in the aftermath of the destruction, I just said to myself, what am I supposed to learn from this? And it really was God stripped away everything that was material so that I could focus on what was important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so don't let an outside force, God, a tornado, redirect your focus, that intensity in that focus. Take it under your control, what you can control, that intensity, and focus on what is important. And a lot of times, as I was picking up the pieces of my life, literally, right, there were always there were people who were just looking for the disaster, looking for
Mm-hmm.
the trauma, the looky loos,
Mm-hmm.
rubberneckers, right? And and after a while, it became almost um, an issue. I'll use that word, because they were just constantly coming through, and we were off on a dirt road that hardly anybody goes on. Um, and so why would they be coming? And, and and there was a message in that too,
Mm.
because they would normally stop and they would come to us and they would say things like, Did anybody get hurt? How is their family? Is everybody okay?" And then the next thing I would say would be, "We're fine. Maybe a little scratch here and there, but really nothing." And then they would say this, "You can lose your belongings and come away with it, but you can't lose a life and everything was going to be okay. It's
Right.
different, right? Perspective.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking ahead at your future and you're focused intently on that, so intently that you're stepping on things that are supposed to be there to help you, maybe you need to refocus."
Refocus.
So really, when you look at the verse, it's about the importance of maintaining that proper perspective
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
life's priorities, and
Right.
it encouraging us to focus our attention and energies on spiritual matters and trust in God's provision for your material needs. And when you
Mm-hmm.
do that, then you can experience peace and fulfillment in your lives when you live in alignment with God's purpose. And there are going to be some angels along the way that are going to help you, kind of like, us, the mindset queen, right?
Mm.
Brian, you know, we have some good things to share, and I believe that we can help you through certain things. Um, you know, we we like to refer to the good book all the time
Mhm.
for advice, for guidance, for a feeling of calm, a feeling of safety. Um, but there's a new book out there. It's not gonna trump the good book because that's always gonna be first, right?
Number
But
one.
number one, but there are some other things that can help point you in the right direction, and you have to be open to that, and you have to be open to wanting to make things better for yourself, and that'll help you actually align with God and your divine purpose. So lean into that. And I think somebody might have more to say about that.
Man, you did that like a professional. What a setup. What a setup. Yes, I do have something to share. And I've got to jump on another call in just a minute. So, Brian, I'm going to ask you to help continue the message and to wrap up the room. You guys can wrap it up for me. But I do want to announce that the book that I've been talking about, the background that you see behind me, Soar Beyond Limits, Unleashing Your Inner Voice. Everything that I believe, the framework that I apply to life and that I believe if you apply to yours will accelerate your personal development and growth and help you to manage those emotions, maintain your focus, create the plans that you need to have the life that you desire. It's all written down. It's beautiful. The cover I'm so proud of, but the most important part is the things that are in my head and the things that you guys hear from me in spurts, every day has all been compiled into a framework that you can use. It's a reference book. It's not a read once and done. It's something that you can go back to and go, I'm dealing with this. What's the exercise that can help me get the focus I need on that? Or what are some actionable steps I can take to move forward? It helps you to figure out where you are. It helps you to figure out where you want to be. And it certainly helps you create the plan to get there. And I'm so proud of it. It's Soar Beyond Limits, Unleashing the Strength Within. The book is going to be available on Amazon on March the 25th. The ebook version of the book is available for pre-order right now. It became available overnight while I was sleeping. So right now it's ready to go. So you can, we'll share the link and you can all start to, those of you who enjoy the e-readers, the Kindles, the whatever, tablets, your phone, whatever it is that if you'd like to do it virtually, that you can pre-order right now. And the soft and the hard copy of the book will be available on March the 25th. I would think about it as a textbook, a textbook for how you manage your life, a textbook on how you figure out what's going on with you so that you can get out of your way and charge yourself up to support yourself through creating and implementing the life that you want. And so I'm excited about it. Brian, please take over so I can jump onto my other call. Share whatever it is he's this beautiful background behind me was created by Brian. The cover of the book, lots of conversations, poking at the things that I've done to make sure that I've thought them out fully. So he's been a huge part of me getting to this point. So thank you so much, Mr. Content. I appreciate you. I appreciate the framework that you have to help us do what it is that we want to do when it comes to our content. And content is all kinds of things. It could be your post. It could be a book. It could be the next song that you're going to sing. Everything is content. And Brian's book, I bought quite a few months ago to help me figure out how to do the things that I need to do. But I'm fortunate enough to really know the author up close and personal. And so he spent a lot of time with me in strategy sessions and asking the hard questions and pushing me forward when I didn't want to add something that was personal. It's like, oh no, you got to put a little bit more of you in there. So helping me really craft it to become what it is. Brian, hats off to you. I appreciate all the hard work that you've done to help me get there. But it's live, y'all. It's live. The ebook can be ordered and you can have the book in your hand after March the 25th. So I'm so excited. And Brian, let me go to my meeting. I'm 5 minutes late. I'm going to turn my camera off, but I'll still be able to hear you guys. And anything that you want to share. And Jay, however you guys want to wrap up the room, it is entrusted to you to do what is needed to be done. So I appreciate that. Are you able to unmute, Brian? He may be multitasking.
I am multitasking.
Shame.
Got a lot going on today. I always got a lot going on. Trying to talk on the phone, trying to work, trying to wash dishes, trying to write a new book. So we have launched. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. I cannot tell you how excited I am about the Soar Beyond Limits book. It is amazing. Now, I'm not just saying that because I know Cassandra. I really, really mean you should go out and buy this book. Like, I have used a lot of the techniques that Cassandra talks about in her book. I use them every single day. And I am a self-professed mindset master. Like I have been practicing mindset mastery for years because everything starts with the mind. If you don't have your mind in line, nothing else flows. But I have learned so much from what Cassandra has learned over the years, what she shares, what she encourages everyone to do. It always helps to have an accountability partner. It always helps to have someone a couple of steps ahead of the game when you're thinking about uh, reframing, right? Changing your perspective, propelling yourself forward. Propel, that's one of the 4 P's, right? I've used these techniques and these models so much that they become a part of my conversation and they become a part of the way I think. It's on Amazon. It's Soar Beyond Limits by Cassandra Terry. You should go check that book out. It'll be available on the 25th in print, but I believe you can get the Kindle copy now. It's amazing. It's an amazing book. Jay, has Cassandra said anything to you about it?
Only what I heard yesterday. So I'm excited to figure out what it is that I'm missing out on right now. I get a little bit of it every time we meet here, and every time she speaks, you know, I definitely listen. So now I'm gonna have something in print that I can take a look at that would help me over and over again. There was something I watched the other day. It was a gentleman who said he always hires virtual assistants, and every time he has to retrain someone, it takes a lot of his time. Right? Well, how do I do this or how do I do that? And he put together a tutorial for them, and that way they could always refer to it and not have to bug him all the time. So you know, I think it's gonna also take a load off of uh, of Cassandra, because I don't have to keep referring to her. I can actually keep looking at a book, that tutorial that should help me with my mindset. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to see it and to learn from it. Um, I wish I had your book also, so I could put it side by side. But the digital copy got lost in the sauce the last time. So,
It's all good. It's all good. Man, I'll send you over a author copy.
oh wow,
Yeah, and we need to get yours out there, man. I want to see your book in this lineup. I hear what you're saying, Jay, but we got to move, brother. We got to get that book out there too. That's an essential part of this whole personal branding revolution, right? That's happening. Like people now are wanting to, they want to be, they want career insurance. They want to be certain that regardless of what happens in their employment, in their business, in their lives, that they have that cushion, they have that assurance, right? That they're still going to make it. And guess what? Storytelling is an essential part of personal branding. I can't stress it enough. If you can't tell a story, you can't sell that offer. You have got to be able to tell a story. So let's get that book out there, Jay. Let's get that book out there and let everybody know that your book is on its way. I don't care if you missed the date. I don't care if you missed it 100 times. You're still here and you still have time to make it reality. And I'm not going to stop until I see it finished. So you might as well get used to me bugging the mess out of you, brother.
yeah, that accountability that you're talking about. I think it's helped a lot of us um, in the Fam Collective. So I don't take it lightly anymore. And I don't dismiss it because I know I should be listening. And that alignment that we keep talking about, right? That I keep talking about. It's the whole reason I believe we're together. We're here to help one another so that we're able to help others. And and ultimately, it's gonna fall back to us. And as we help others, we're helping ourselves. So that's what I'm understanding. That's the message I'm learning, and that's what I'm here to say to others. If you don't know um, what you're capable of, and you don't see your talents and your skills, join a collective, join a community of authentic people who will tell you straight and give you flowers. Sometimes they'll throw the flowers at you.
They'll throw the flowers at you sometimes. Sometimes. You're right.
sometimes, sometimes,
That's out of love, though, brother.
right? Absolutely. And I think holding us accountable and Brian constantly being in contact with Cassandra has has been it's that. Let me explain
How
it
you
this way.
doing?
I'm gonna explain it this way. If Have you ever been out in the wilderness? Have you ever been out in the forest and spend some time in a tent or near a near a fire? One of the things they tell you to do is to see if you can find a big old rock, right? And they tell you to look for that big old rock for two things. One, it shields you from wind, and two, if you build a fire, it's going to reflect that warmth back to you. So when you are with others and you are talking with people who are authentic and want to help see you grow, they are going to reflect back that warmth to you. They're going to be that rock to shield you from the wind and the elements, but they're also going to provide that warmth that you need, that you are emulating, that you are pushing out there. So um, I thought I'd share that symbolism with the audience.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. That's what a collective is all about, man. Encouraging each other, keeping each other going in spite of getting in our own way, right? And not doing it from a place of judging. It's just saying, hey, I want I want the same thing that I experienced to happen for you also. And that is the beauty of putting your putting your thoughts into a collective work of writing. That book is so quintessential to building a content empire. I can't stress it enough. That book is everything, man. I have built 5 continuous streams of revenue from one piece of content. That's focus, that's intensity, and that's intentionality. That's all focus is. And in order to do that, you got to put some other stuff to the side. You got to put some stuff, out of your out of your out of your focus and in your review, right? That's what that is. You got to let some stuff go so that you can focus on what you need to be building. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I've read your book. You need to finish it. That's a great book. If it was a crap book, I'd be like, Jay, let's try it again. But nah, this is a good book. And I really encourage you, man. I admonish you to finish your book. Whatever we need to do to get that finished, the next book to launch, it's not gonna be my book. I've got a book that I'm waiting to get ready, but I'm not gonna finish mine until we finish yours.
I
That's
got you.
my word.
I appreciate your word, man. I do, because it's pretty strong. So we are at the hour now, and we appreciate everybody uh, listening in and watching us from the platforms that we're able to be on this morning. That focus that Cassandra had to get us on, it got us on. And we'll figure out ways to make sure that we're on all the platforms next. Maybe there's some things we just need to to get out the way. But I think we did what we needed to do, and people heard what they needed to hear today. So thank you again for joining us for the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra is in another meeting at the moment. Brian is with us here, the Dadpreneur, Mr. Content. I'm Jay Pasqua, the storytelling strategist, and the other member of the FAM Collective, Denise Annalise Spiller. She is in Grenada at the moment, taking care of business while she's there. And so, we are here Tuesday through Friday, 7:15 a.m. Central Time. We're here to help you with your mindset. We're here to share our insight, our perspectives, and our experience, and even the Word of God to help you get through your day, to help you get through your week, to help you get through your month, to give you some positive feedback and positive vibes and positive words so that you can soar in 2024. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. And again, thank you for joining us. Join us again next Tuesday and the rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you join us every week, Tuesday through Friday, 7:15 a.m. Central Time for the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. For advertising or sponsorship questions, reach out to Cassandra or any member of the FAM Collective on
Check
their
out the
LinkedIn
book.
profiles. Have a great day, everyone.